Hi everyone, welcome to another Bitcoin weekly analysis. Today I'll be focusing on Bitcoin to see what the outlook is for the week and also to see if there's any intraday opportunities for potentially Monday tomorrow. So let's get started. So first of all, I'll just do a catch up from last week. If you can remember, the price action was somewhere here last week where I said you could take a potential sell trade. It was here. It was on this candlestick here. So that was last Sunday. So exactly a week today. I remember saying that you could have took a sell trade here and this would have been your target profit, TP1, and it hit that. And then also said if it breaches the H4 support, it can go all the way down to the daily support. So this is the daily, and it went that, and it breached that as well, and it went all the way to the weekly. So if you had your TP as so, you could have made potentially 9,200 pips. So potentially 9 grand, depending on how many pips per what you call it, man, your volume, what's your pip value. So you could have made a lot of money there. That is just from one trade. And obviously, as I said, let me just update the levels now. So remember, I'm only trading support and resistance levels, and you know price moves. If you've been watching my videos, you know I only trade the two levels, your supply and demand zones. Price moves from one level to another. Now I'm going to show you that right here. So as you can see, this was a H4 support, H4 resistance, and we expect if price goes to this yellow zone here, we expect it to go to the other yellow zone, and it did exactly that. You can see here massive selling momentum from the sellers pushed the price down. It went all the way to this H4 resistance. So from here we can expect it to either go up to this H4 or to breach it and to go down to the daily support level, and it did that. So price went from, and if you zoom out, so you'll see price travels from one level to another on the intraday time frame. If you go to a daily, you can see price moves from one daily level to another. And as you can see, let me just clear this chart up so it looks a bit cleaner. So when I go to the daily, as you can see here, you can expect, remember I always say price travels from one level to another. Price is at this daily resistance, you expect it to go down to this daily support, and it did that exactly within. So what was this? This was Wednesday, Friday, another Wednesday. So in 2 weeks time approximately, yeah, it took exactly 2 weeks to go from this level here to another. So you can always expect price to move from one level to another. Now the last week, this is Sunday's price action. What happened in the next few days? So you can see this was Sunday, then you had Monday, Tuesday, massive bullish engulfing candle on Wednesday, Thursday, again bullish, Friday, again bullish, Saturday was a potentially high low. You can see that it's made a daily bearish candlestick, which indicates that either price is taking a breath where it's forming a high low before it goes up further, or this is where it could go and reverse. So it's made the high low, could potentially have a reversal and go back down. So remember, this can either, on Monday, we'll see whether this is a bullish candlestick where it goes here, and if it's closer to this daily resistance, that'll indicate a better sell trade. So the closer it is to the level or on the level, then we could take a sell trade and then to here. Remember, when you're trading, intraday traders, you don't trade every single day. You need to set up your levels and you need to wait for price to come to your level. You can't just be buying and selling endlessly every day. Obviously you can do that, but that is more risk. You're risking your capital. So sensible traders will take between 5 and 10 trades a week if you're a scalper. So I scalp, I focus on H1 time frame, and I take maximum 10 trades a week, if that. And you only need to win 4 trades out of 10 to be profitable. So if you're winning percentages 40%, you should still come out profitable if you're trading at high probable zones, which are these levels here that I've marked. So as you can see, price is at this daily support, it went up here. So what would we do for this week coming? So Monday, I'd expect a sell trade from here and would aim for this level here. So now let's go ahead and mark the chart ready for the week. So here's your most recent higher, lower high on the daily. So we'll leave that as it is. As price has made a new lower low, so we'd update the level. This would be the new lower low here. So previously it was this one, lower low, then it made a lower high. Remember, it's in a downtrend. So if you start all the way here, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Why is this lower lows and lower highs? So this is a lower low, this is a lower high. Sorry, I know it's not this most cleanest writing, but it's difficult with the mouse. Why is it a lower high? Lower high is when price changes from bearish to bullish. What is a lower low? When price changes from bearish to bullish. What is a lower high? When price changes from bullish to bearish. These are what you call your changes in direction. These are changes in price. So these are your levels. As you can see here, you've got continuous levels. You can trade these levels continuously, but I'd like to trade on the high probable levels close to a daily support and resistance, or even a H4 support and resistance. So that's why I've updated this. This is the most recent lower low. This is the most recent lower high. So these are your daily levels, and this is your daily support as well. So that's a D. Daily support, daily resistance. When price is here, it'll go down. When price is here, it'll go up. So that's what you do on the daily. You want to break it down further and go to an intraday time frame of H4. This is where each candlestick represents 4 hours of price action. So as you can see, identify your trend. You can see on a H4, it's kind of bullish. So you can see you've got a lower low, you've got a lower high, lower low. This is where price changes direction. It's gone all the way up. It's now formed a higher high. It's retraced to form a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and now it's gone down to retrace to form a higher low. If it breaches the previous higher low, it's now bearish and we can take a sell trade. That is another way you can analyze it. But I expect it to make a higher low and go up here. I expect it to come to this region in the next 24 hours. That's when we can take a sell trade, ready to go here. So remember, always mark your charts as so. Identify your higher highs and higher lows. This is where price changes from bearish to bullish. Once again, I'll go through it again. This is your lower low. Why? Because price changes from a bearish candlestick, a red, to a green. It changes direction. Then it went up. As you can see here, it's formed a higher high. Price is a bullish inverted hammerhead, indicates price can go down. I will touch upon candlestick analysis as your primary analysis. And then it's followed by a bearish candlestick. Price has changed direction. This is your change of direction, so it's a higher high. And then it went down, formed a higher low. Why? Because price changed from a bearish to a bullish. It changed direction. This is your high low. So as so, you just keep repeating the process, and then you can mark these price changes of direction as a level. So as you can see here, here's a level, lower low. Here's a level. This one here, high high. Then you can change it up to here. And as you can see, price respected, retraced, went all the way up to this level again. But as you can see, we've got a most recent high high. So this will be the most recent high high. You can have this as your most recent high low, but it's in a bit of a range, so I'll give it a bit of room to breathe. I'll put it as so. I'll leave a line like this here as a reference. If price breaches this, I expect it to make a high low here and go up to this level, then breach the H4 and go to the daily resistance. Once it's at the daily resistance, remember, as I said, that is when we are going to take a sell trade to aim to go here. So that's one thing price can do if it continues to be bullish. However, if it breaches this higher low, price is then bearish. If it'll breach it, it'll make a lower high, it'll retest the support now acting as a resistance, and then it'll go down. So you can also take a sell trade here if it does that. So there's two ways that price can play out. I'll leave this little support region here because I'm expecting it to respect it and go up. If it doesn't, it'll retrace it, enter a sell trade, it'll go down to this level here. Next, you go on to H1. You want to repeat the process once again. Here is your breakers, so you can see to do the analysis for today, you look at previous day's price action. About these breakers here is separate each day. So if we look at Saturday's price action, I'll remove this because this is your higher low, this is your higher high, which falls on a H4 level, H4 resistance as well. So there you go. These are your levels for today. When price comes to the level or on the level, you look for a buy trade or sell trade within your direction. So when price is here, you could have took a sell trade at 4 o'clock in the morning. When price reaches here, we expect price to reject it and go back up. So that is how I would trade Bitcoin for the next few days. So potential buy trade to later on today, but most notably, remember, as I said, wait for it to come to this daily resistance. Then you can enter a sell trade. So this would be my setup for the week. And then enter sell trade as so. So you're risking what? 977 pips to win 6,400. Obviously, if you trade intraday, so today, if I'm sitting on the charts all day, I could look for a potential buy trade like this. Just like that. I'd expect to retrace to this blue H1 and then go up. Obviously, you can breach it and go down as well, so we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. But that is how you can trade Bitcoin on an intraday trading level and also on a H4. But remember, always look at daily to see your bias for the day. But that is how I would trade. Remember, always use daily, so you can see yesterday it was bullish. Today it's taken a bit of a breath to go down. But looking at yesterday's daily candlestick can help you see where prices go next for the day. So I hope you enjoy that analysis. Obviously, I'm not going to do my long-term projections of Bitcoin. You should already know where that is. I'm still looking at 166,000 by the end of this year, but I'm going to do my Bitcoin analysis for the week. We've hit a major weekly support level. I expect Bitcoin to go back to all-time highs now. Remember, price travels between two levels, a weekly resistance and a weekly support. It's retraced to the weekly support. I expect it to go back up to 110,000 in the next few weeks. I hope you enjoy that Bitcoin analysis. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace.